DeFi Slate team.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Andrew here, or Andy as you know it. I'd love for you, if you enjoyed this content, if you got something out of it, to give it a like, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We're really trying to grow it here and we would really appreciate it. Cheers guys, and I hope you enjoyed.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are here with Szymon from Ramp. Ramp Network is a fiat on-ramp to the crypto world, expanding globally as we speak. They are available all over Europe, and as I said, expanding globally. I'm here with Szymon, the co-founder of Ramp. I'm really excited for this because if we're being honest, in order for the crypto space to keep growing, we're going to need easy access for all sorts of customers and institutions to be able to hop in and invest. Right now, there are quite a few options, but the more the merrier and the easier, the better. So I'm here with Szymon. I'll let him introduce himself, kind of talk a bit about what he's been doing and working on, and we'll take it from there. How you doing, Szymon?
Fantastic. Yeah, hi, thanks. Thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure. So at Ramp, I'm a CEO, the CEO and co-founder of Ramp, and I built this company to make access to crypto so much easier. What we specialize in is we build a kind of a copy and paste solution that apps and dApps and wallets can use to add to their products so that their users can easily purchase crypto within those products. So you can think of it as, kind of Coinbase in a box that you can copy and paste into your product and let your users purchase crypto very easily. And with that, you never need your users to go somewhere else and purchase right there. We also have our own website, our own Ramp, where people can just go directly, and people love it because it is super easy, super fast, super smooth. And we are very, very hyped because as of now, we are only available in Europe, all across Europe. But very soon, we are also launching in the US and across the world. So this is a very special moment for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's been in development and is getting going now. And that factor that you said of being able to integrate that into anything. So basically, for those who are listening, say, for example, let's say on MetaMask or on Trust Wallet, if you will, you could basically be able to just be integrated into those platforms. So that way that, if I wanted to make a payment with my debit card to purchase some cryptocurrency, it would basically be through your platform, through your API, but on, their wallet or their app.
Yes, this is correct. And we kind of think that as the space is maturing, the general user flow of how these users start their journey with crypto will change tremendously. So up until now, users have been just using Coinbase first and kind of familiarizing themselves with crypto there. And then they would just withdraw it to any other wallet and start playing with any product that they find interesting in the space, with the DeFi, NFTs, trading, or whatever they find exciting. And it's a little bit like with eBay in the very early days of e-commerce. So very few people remember, but with eBay, you had to kind of figure out the way to pay for the good you purchased with the seller. And it was pretty complicated. And you can imagine you had to use ACH and coordinate offline. It was terrible. And then PayPal happened. And PayPal did something very important to the entire e-commerce kind of industry. And we think that it was the enabler of tremendous growth of e-commerce during the last 2 decades, basically. And we want to do the same for the crypto industry. So now we want to enable product creators, entrepreneurs, creative people building stuff on top of crypto to kind of cut out this intermediary step of saying, okay, you want to use my service, but you need to go to Coinbase first to purchase crypto. We want to be a built-in purchasing process. And we think that this is a super exciting mission because we are basically an enabler for all sorts of different products. So you mentioned some wallets, but also we are getting implemented into many DeFi products. We have some exchanges chatting with us because they also need fiat on ramps, if you think about it. So very exciting space, very demanding because it is very heavily regulated, very hard to do right. And you need to be very serious about security as well. But we find it very, very rewarding. And I think that, this is just like a crucial part of the crypto ecosystem setup that needs to be done really well.
Yeah, undoubtedly a crucial part. And yeah, you can kind of feel that fulfillment as you are creating and filling a need in the ecosystem that people will need for this thing to grow and for everything to happen. I saw a tweet. It was one of those how it started and how it is now photos, and it was a picture of like Eric Voorhees and Roger Ver at a convention with a Bitcoin sign, and then PayPal, and there's a Bitcoin stand and a PayPal stand, and then what was it, like 2 days ago, we've got the news of PayPal is going to be opening up cryptocurrency, all sorts of purchases and stuff like that. Now they do have some sort of restrictions on them, but are you guys competing with PayPal now? Is that how you view it? Or are you guys more like a collaboration or different? How do you see that?
So we think that PayPal actually tremendously lowered our marketing budget for 2021. So we are very grateful for that. We think that it's going to be an amazing year for Ramp because what PayPal did is basically an ability to trade indices, or in other words, just to speculate on the price within their app. And I think that it is a very good move on their side, like business-wise. First, it is a relatively high margin product for them. And secondly, they probably also struggle to get any engagement in their mobile app. So I think that they just did it to get some more engagement. You can think of it as, cryptocurrencies have this gambling element in them. So, people are very excited and like to, speculate with it. And if you get invested, you probably know well, if you get invested in crypto, you check the prices very often and check how your holdings are doing. Is the crypto you own and hold is growing, or is it falling in price? So I think that PayPal did it for just that. But the sad thing about PayPal is that you cannot do much with this cryptocurrency that you purchase through them. And I imagine I know why. So it is super hard, and we know it well, to build this right and make sure that regulators are happy with you being basically an open crypto wallet that can interact with this broad crypto world. Maybe PayPal will get there eventually. But right now, I don't think it is going to happen. And I just feel like, there is marketing-wise, there is a gigantic top of the funnel kind of opening for us. And many of those people who would, get started with PayPal and get started playing with crypto right in their interface would just fall into rabbit hole. And then when they would open up a non-custodial wallet, most likely they will see Ramp built in there. And, using Ramp is just as easy as purchasing crypto with PayPal. So I think they will find the experience very familiar, very easy to navigate, but at the same time, the possibilities are so much broader, so much more exciting. So I'm excited for all of those users as well.
Yeah, I think the funnel, as you're saying, in terms of marketing, certainly opened up the broader idea of, okay, we can invest in this easily all across the world. They've got like 20 something, I think like 25 million users or something like that. So that is kind of like that first awareness phase, if you will, of the funnel. And then once people realize like, oh, I can earn yields, or I can actually own my tokens, stuff like that. Then when they have that interest to, go to I don't want to have to do KYC, et cetera, right, then they'll be interested in getting to those non-custodial and actual owning of the funds. And that's kind of where Ramp comes in. So how does that work? So say I'm going on Trust Wallet or Argent or MetaMask or exchanges where Ramp is integrated, right? And I'm purchasing, say, $1,000 of Bitcoin through Ramp. Do you guys have a huge wallet that is like a safe and a multi-sig, or do you guys purchase it and then sell it? Like, how does that process work for Ramp?
Yeah, sure. So it actually, like, the right answer is it depends. It really depends on the size of your purchase. It depends on what crypto assets you are actually going to buy. So with Ramp, we basically have two kind of paths, or two ways of procuring liquidity for your crypto purchase. One is fully peer-to-peer and non-custodial, and we do that for Ethereum assets right now. And this is only available in Europe with something called open banking. This is very exciting because this actually makes Ramp the only crypto on Ramp that can function without its own bank account. Because what we do there is we match buyer with a seller. We connect with bank accounts via APIs for both of the parties. And we initiate a payment from, Bob to Alice, so that the fiat payment is being settled directly between banks, and crypto is being escrowed at that time, and gets released once the fiat transfer gets initiated. And this is super cool because it is instant. It's basically invisible to the end user, so it just feels like a very simple Coinbase purchase. It feels like you're doing it with your card, or even better. But it's fully peer-to-peer. It's non-custodial. It makes Ramp very, very what it makes is Ramp is very resilient to any stuff that could happen with our bank accounts or payment facilitation kind of relationships. So we think that this is a very important part of the business, and we know that it is very much valued in the community.
Yeah.
But if you are going to buy with card, or if you are going to purchase a crypto asset that is Bitcoin and not a crypto asset on Ethereum blockchain, it's a much more conservative traditional setup. So then we would either pull the money from our pool of liquidity, or pull the crypto assets from our pool of liquidity that we have. And this is a multi-sig. It is very well secured, and this is basically our money on our ledger, or in our books, and we just sell it over to you. Sometimes if the purchase is very, very big, we take advantage of our gigantic network of liquidity sources. So we work with a couple OTC desks, we work with a couple exchanges, and we source liquidity there. So you always know you're gonna get your crypto at best price. It's not the case with many other on-ramps. They do not care about it. We think that this is very important, and moving forward, price would be more and more important for end users as they learn how to purchase, through the cheapest route, and as they learn how to take advantage of things like DeFi, earning yield, and more kind of finance oriented crypto applications. So we make sure that we are always the most technologically advanced, best networked, and most efficient way to purchase crypto for our end users. And it is also reflected in a way that we procure liquidity for the end users. So there are multiple different ways the transaction can get settled, and we will always pick the way that is easiest, cheapest, and fastest for our end users.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's probably a really good trait of or a factor of Ramp to be able to have that option to use just a multitude of ways to be able to provide the service, because if any one thing goes down, it's kind of like having a backup plan or just other options for the customers. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that is what it's all about: the best prices, and making sure that the process is very simple. Because sometimes it can be confusing. There can be a lot of errors. There can be a lot of problems with wires, with banks, really something that we could get into is like the merge of regular banking with crypto is a big problem. Like it is a big problem. And I think that's what you guys are trying to solve. Like I've heard stories of friends who are pulling out like pretty decent chunks of of crypto and trying to get it back into their bank, and the bank's freezing the funds because they have no idea where they're coming from, and vice versa. And that just kind of comes back down to that problem and finding that product market fit. So when you're creating this, we kind of hit on it a bit, but what kind of personal ideologies and what kind of personal views really drove you to create this? Because if you want to get involved in crypto, there's a multitude of ways, right? You can do so many things. There's so many ideas or ways to start a business or to make money or to help the ecosystem, right? But you chose to try to start a really successful fiat on-ramp. So why this, and kind of what drove you and the team, to do this?
Yeah, so me and my co-founder were actually the original founders of Libertarian Party here in Poland. So we got into crypto pretty early on because of our beliefs in personal freedom and personal responsibility. So in our minds, there needs to be a community-driven alternative to central banking, and we think that cryptocurrencies are just beautiful, very elegant solution to that. And the mere fact that central banks all around the world are kind of trying to wrap their heads around building their own digital currencies or cryptocurrencies right now is a great testament to how cryptocurrencies are a very efficient competition to central banks, and how they go about printing money and purchasing government's debt and all that. So I think that it is very important for an alternative to exist. I'm not 100% sure that we're gonna get to hyper Bitcoinization or that cryptocurrencies would get into mainstream anytime soon. But I think that there always needs to be an alternative, and there always will be very interesting markets for crypto to penetrate. So I think that this is, just a wonderful business opportunity, and at the same time, it aligns very nicely with our own beliefs. We think that this is something that that the world just needs, if not for anything else, just to check. Just keep governments and central banks in check. So this is, if you will, a weapon in hands of humanity to just make sure that our freedoms are intact, and that there is always an alternative that central banks need to be wary of and be aware of.
Yeah, it's when you put it like that as a check and balance system, it really is easy to see the value in the system. It's just like it's there.
And the very beautiful thing is that it will always be there. It will always be there. It cannot even get prohibited, but then peer-to-peer networks and grassroots kind of systems and products would still make it available. So I think that governments know that, and I think that they are kind of okay with that. They already got used to it. Like during the last 11 or 12 years, they kind of, I think, realized that crypto is here to stay. And it's good. I think that there are many fantastic people in governments all across the world realizing how powerful this technology is, and they're willing to build on top of that. And we don't want to, get into a conflict with them. We just want them to know that we're here. And at the same time, it's just a beautiful thing seeing how DeFi is blooming, and all of those systems built on top of smart contract platforms are, getting some more and more adoption. So I think this space is just fun. It is a huge business opportunity, and at the same time just needs to exist. So there is a big intrinsic value in that. That's what made us, decide to get in the blockchain space and build Ramp.
Yeah. The things that are going on in DeFi this year are just insane. I mean, that this year has definitely not been the year of Bitcoin, the year of Lightning Network. I mean, all that's there. It's always the year of Bitcoin. It's always going to be here. I mean, every day that goes by, it establishes itself more and more as a trustless system. But this year with Ethereum, it's just been insane. I've never seen so many Ethereum maximalists on Twitter. It's crazy. Did you participate in any of that? Did you do any of the yield farming stuff?
Yeah, I do all sorts of stuff with very little amounts of money. Actually, I lost much more money on paying gas than I earned farm yielding. So
dude, it was
I'm
insane for a while.
Yes,
it was not even
those were
realistic.
insane. But the gas prices were insane as well. So that with when you play with very little money, it kind of balances it's out, and
it's not worth it. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Your yield gets eaten by gas prices. So yeah, I participate in that. I'm very excited about it, and I just want to be part of the community and kind of feel how this entire ecosystem is growing. And I've got many friends who are building stuff around DeFi and critical parts of the infrastructure of this insane DeFi world. And I feel like we are getting closer and closer to fully functional alternative finance system, and this is super exciting because this is something that's going to build, according to open source principles, and it's all community driven. And this is something that I think is just unprecedented. I think that's the first time in the humanity that we created something like that. So what crazy times we live in, and observing this space is very rewarding and very interesting. However, I think that we have still a couple of things that needs solving. So we still need to kind of try to go about unsecured lending, and this is something that is very hard, from just practical standpoint and from compliance standpoint as well. So I'm now watching very closely projects like 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗵 and others trying to build first attempts to get uncollateralized or under collateralized loans on chain and see how it works. That's the DeFi trend that I think is still kind of unleashed, and once somebody figures out how to do it, it's going to be 100xer for the entire space. So we still need to get ready for that. I think that the infrastructure is not quite ready yet, so we are trying to build as fast as possible to get ready for that, and then really fun part will start. What's also interesting with DeFi is that I feel like it's been clear since infamous 𝗵𝗶𝗶 that it's going to be really big. So I knew that even a couple of years ago, it was the time where Bitcoin maxis were triumphing after the DAO just failed and got hacked by some very clever hacker. But I knew that that's probably just growing pains, and I kind of saw that it's going to be epic. And here we are, 2020. We're seeing real craze here. I think this is a very interesting point in the history of decentralized systems, and it's very, very, very exciting. And last part is that I'm very excited about DAOs as well. So basically what's underpinning each and every, or it seems like it underpins each and every crypto DeFi project is, a need of creating a governance system so that you can govern the way of how you parameterize risks, how you reward different stakeholder groups. And I'm also very pumped about Aragon, which is the kind of it seems like it's going to be really important in this entire ecosystem. So DAOs are also very exciting to me, and the amount of work and progress that happened in recent months in terms of DAO, decentralized autonomous organizations, is just immense. So that's also very, very exciting right now.
Yeah, the Aragon team is definitely the leader of the creation of DAOs. And I mean, I just remember taking off a good year or so from crypto and coming back earlier this year, probably 5-6 months ago, and seeing all this stuff and being like, what the heck? Where'd all this come from? All these protocols, all this lending, all this borrowing, all this. Yeah, and it's just it's going to continuously shock people as they come in and learn and use the protocols and test them out, and all that stuff. I mean, it's huge. But with that and the governance tokens and and all these new protocols, there are a lot of risks. There's a lot of new stuff going on. But the one thing that you mentioned is the governance of these protocols. And what comes to my mind is the governance tokens, right? So Aave is obviously a governance token of Aave. Comp is the governance token of Compound. So we've got a lot of governance tokens, but we don't have a lot of use cases for these governance tokens quite yet. So my question to you is Ramp ever going to have a token? Will there be a Ramp token?
Nothing is confirmed yet. I don't think that we did not build this company with the ultimate goal of introducing a token in mind. And I know that many companies got built just to launch a token. So ours is to solve a real need. We won't have a token for as long as we believe that not having one is not bad. Or is not detrimental of the service we can provide. So if we figure out that a token is required to provide a better service, we might very well get a token. I mean, governance tokens are, this is a very interesting topic. I think that the value that's being attributed to them is just speculation that somewhere in the future, those would transform to something like more of shares, where you do not only get a say in how the company or the is being run, but also just get you some dividends, just get you some
cash flows
share in the cash flow from the protocol. So we're gonna see. I think that what happened after Uniswap drop was just wild.
Oh my goodness, it wasn't even real. That was just insane. Every single wallet address that you can, just sending them all in there, trying to see if you get the airdrop.
So that was jaw-dropping, but I think that it is a sign of something very, very cool and interesting. So basically all of these VC-funded companies that build pieces of infrastructure are making sure continuously to make them more and more decentralized, and there are very good incentives for them to do so. They want to avoid regulatory pains. They want to make sure that their protocols and systems are truly owned by the community, and I think this is really, really good. So in this sense, regulations are doing a real favor in terms of keeping all of these systems robust and decentralized, because everybody just tries to decentralize away.
So that
whatever they build in a very centralized manner.
Because you can't get the regulatory arbitrage if you're building a centralized project.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
Exactly. So trying to keep this balance of efficiency of a centralized entity building product focused on solving a real pain point and addressing a real need, with trying to do some regulatory arbitrage, or trying to make sure that your product is really robust, and there is no way that somebody can just flip a switch and turn it off if they don't like it. It's something very interesting, and it is a dynamic that I think is going to continue to surprise us, and events like this Uniswap airdrop will happen more and more often, because basically these are driven by need of these companies to decentralize and keep the promise of being truly decentralized. So very, very interesting. I think that more and more companies will do that. Ramp might do that in the future.
A retroactive airdrop or something?
A retroactive airdrop would be probably the best way to distribute such token for a company that builds infrastructure for crypto. And
I saw one. I think Badger DAO just dropped a token, I think, and they airdropped it to anybody who had donated it on Gitcoin.
Nice. I think this is a really cool touch, and also and also they made sure this way that whatever decisions are made in this DAO, sophisticated and engaged kind of participants would show up with their token and help them make right decisions, right? Because when you are contributing on Gitcoin, you probably know what you're doing, and you are pretty well aware of different stuff needed to make good decisions in a good DAO. But ultimately, like, the bottom line for me is that, you know, we are at the bleeding edge, we are at the frontier. What we do now is sci-fi kind of stuff, but what's really interesting to me is how fast this stuff is going to you know, get to early majority of users. So it's very exciting that Bitcoin just hit its early majority phase. I think that it will accelerate, you know, growth for all of the other crypto assets, because, you know, Bitcoin is just a gateway drug to
the king.
Right. All kinds of. I'm a little bit of an Ethereum maxi.
Oh, me too these days. Just the functionality is just insane. Like, what you can do is just absurd.
So much more.
And stable coins too. That's the huge kicker. Stable coins. It's crazy.
Yeah, stable coins are super cool. I see multiple teams working right now on stuff being built on top of stable coins that is really meant to do, you know, real world stuff like remittances, payments, subscriptions, you know, even some products that are simplifying yield farming and get you yield in a very simple manner, and just represent the stable coin as something akin to US dollar, just earning a little bit more yield on that than your regular savings account, which is also a little bit tricky, right? Because you need to protect the customer and to make sure that the customer understands what are the underpinning risks. So here, I think, you know, products like Nexus Mutual, which are insuring a lot of the protocols that are super risky still, are going to be very important, pivotal to introducing those products to broader audience. So yeah, all that very interesting. We are working with, like, the nature of our company is that we work with people who one, build something new, and two, really care about you know, new users. They care about newbies. They want new people to join to join the revolution. And you know, because we chat with them on daily basis, and it continues to blow my mind what's being built. So stuff that is much better than traditional fintech, actually. And I think that in a year or two, we're gonna be just blown away. So this is super exciting. I mean, it's all fun stuff, yield farming and like DAOs and airdrops and all that stuff. It's fun to live in this bubble, but
it's almost like a game. It's like, it's enjoyable. And with that being said, like, over the next year or two, as you said, you know, that you think we'll be blown away. What is your vision and big goal for Ramp to wrap us up here? You know, what do you see as the mission, the vision, the goal? You know, what do you want to see Ramp be in a year, 2 years, 3 years? You know.
Yes. So for us, the main goal for this year is to get global. And this year, by the end of this year, we're going to be available all across the world. And this is one of the final steps of the first phase of the plan. So now we want to launch a universally accessible access layer to crypto. We think this is tremendously important for all people building on top of crypto. There is a huge frustration of people building crypto products because their products are global from day one, and they need a global partner to get their users on board and get their users, you know, crypto into their wallets. And next up is going to be a lot of work with making sure that this flow of purchasing crypto will get you know, as easy or easier than topping up your PayPal wallet or then paying for your e-commerce purchases. So right now there's still a little bit of a friction. We feel like with Ramp we have the best flow around. It really takes seconds. KYC is just painless. Everything is very smooth. But we feel that there are still things to improve before we can basically become you know, PayPal and Stripe of this crypto world. So next year will be all about that. And also right now we offer only 4 crypto assets. We, select, I can't pick them because we picked the assets that we think are most important in the ecosystem and we trust the most. So right now it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, DAI by Maker, and USDC. And now we are chatting with more and more teams that are issuing their own tokens of different kinds, and we are adding more and more tokens based on that. So we chat with people who have very cool use cases and really care about the UX of product built on top of the chains or using the tokens that they issued. And we are adding more and more of them into our product. So we feel like next year, this year was all about getting this, widespread geographical coverage. And end of this year and beginning of the next year will be all about adding more and more tokens and making sure that every token that can be traded and can be sold via Ramp is being sold via Ramp. Also, layer 2 is very important to us. So we are one of very few companies that can actually integrate into layer 2 solutions on top of Ethereum. Most crypto on-ramps just send crypto from Coinbase account or Binance account, and with that, technically you just cannot send this money straight to layer 2. What we want to do next year, early next year, is to create native on-ramps into selected layer 2 solutions, so that when you purchase your crypto, it arrives instantly and it's already in the layer 2 ecosystem that you chose, so that it's instantly ready to use and there is no need to bridge it from mainnet to a sidechain or any other layer 2 solution that you are going to use.
That would be really cool. And that those goals and that path seems exactly what to do. Go global, get this to be as accessible as possible for all nations, everybody around the world. Add as many assets as possible to make sure that people, when they get on, they can purchase what they want. Ramp up the marketing, make sure everything on the back end is looking good. Hopefully prices appreciate as well, and we should be in business. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is Szymon from Ramp. We had a great chat, covered a lot of things. Any closing thoughts from you, Szymon?
It's going to be very, very exciting months ahead of us. I think that it's just, the space is just heating up, and we cannot even imagine what's going to happen up next. And we're going to be all very thankful that we've been here in this space so early.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I can make some time for this. You too. It was an absolute pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.